in the stratosphere, in something to do instead of just testing the angle of the nozzle, move it left to right by 1 notch and see if that plays into it. Like, I don't know if it will do anything, but it is something that it's what I did. Therefore, it is something to keep in mind when troubleshooting it.
Okay, so I have this cannon going straight out of the tube because, I mean, that sends it more or less where I want to go. Okay, so let's see. Straight up.
Straight up.
Even though it should not be sending me straight up.
No, you're right. It definitely shouldn't.
And I'm coming down.
Okay. It's not sending me anywhere.
Yeah, it did that to me a couple times too. There you go. Straight up.
Yeah.
Okay, so try sending this. Well, if I put it there, you'll be going in. You'll be
Like
hitting
just
the
1 notch. Just 1 notch.
Okay, 1 notch. The same angle, 1 notch over. And I'm gonna put on my jetpack, so I
That's probably a good idea.
straight up.
Okay, so. Not what I should have done.
So that's back where it was before.
Yep. What do you mean in valid shape? All right, try it. Yep.
Straight up.
Yeah, I do not know.
Well, I can try lengthening the tube, send it further out over the belts. Yes. I mean, a flatter angle might work, but I don't think it'll get us over the hill.
Well, we can try it one step at a time.
Yeah, we'll try it.
Hello, Akla. Come to laugh at us. Go for it.
Did I? Okay, that's going to send me straight into the power pole. I mean, it'll get me there, but I mean, that launch will work. You know, higher would be better. Ouch. Higher would be better, of course.
Being launched in a hypertube always like as you smiling.
I'm coming back for my next launch. Ground control to Major Tom. Oh, are you going to pass me?
Nope. Because I went
Straight up.
straight up. I mean, straight up enough that this is where I landed. So,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. I honestly do not know why it's doing that. At this point, I'm gonna call it a multiplayer glitch.
Well, let's take the tube, put it over there. I'm not anticipating any different, but let's see what happens.
Whee!
Straight up.
Straight up.
I think I can see my house from here.
We are now at 106 megawatt. And power is even. Power is actually even right now. 47,000 megawatt is part of the power boost. So 59 in total.
I mean, that's a flatter trajectory, which means it'll get you there. Watching your stream to see where it's going to take you. Okay, so you missed the power towers.
Yeah, it took me there. I had to maintain my height the entire time because it put me pretty close to everything.
Well, I think that's the best thing I'm going to be able to do from here until we figure out why, a sharper angle is sending us orbital as opposed to the direction that it logically should.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a 1.0 glitch. It could be a multiplayer glitch. I don't know. Because, I mean, you managed to, by you placing it or you changing it, you corrected it on the one that I was going straight up on.
Yeah, but the game was reloaded in between.
But it was reloaded after you adjusted it, or it was reloaded before you adjusted it.
Yeah, and had you tested it that day?
No, I had not. So you are perhaps correct. Perhaps right now it's going straight up, but if I restart the game, it won't. So what I will do is, since I know that this angle works, I'll just put a tube right next to it. I'll put it 2 ticks up. I'll do that. I'll remove that. Does this run send me straight up? Yes, this sends me straight up. So I will remember to test this. Oh, you're coming all the way up, back out here. Okay. Well. Let's see, if I do that in 1 tick, is that still enough for me to hit?
Yep, everything is powered. We have full power.
Yep, that's solid enough for me to hit. Would you mind coming back and rezzing me at the...
Sure. Where are you?
I'm underneath the belt, just at the end of the hypertube.
Wait. How did you do that?
Well, I wanted to see if that second one was going to be solid enough for me to hit. And yes, it absolutely is. So what this does is you go through the hypertube and it essentially shreds you like a julienne carrot. So, I mean, this is the one I want to use to send you back. or for us to get back. So I'm going to dismantle that. I'm going to dismantle the hypertube. That should be the one that works. And just a quick test to, yeah, reverse course.
Do you have your jetpack on?
Yes. I would not be performing this test if I did not have my jetpack on.
Just making sure.
Okay, so that will get us, well, it certainly looked like it's going to get us where we need to go.
Cool.
Okay, so my usual, where's my construction fencing? I think I used the tarp. Okay. Well, we'll assume that the belt is there. Well, you can still walk in there, so we'll do that. Remove that one and just make that a little bit bigger. And then we have our customizer, patterns, half, factory zone. Oh, I see. That explains why that doesn't look right, because that's not where that's supposed to be. You're supposed to be up against this. And I think that clips, yeah, that clips, so I can't do that. Okay.
Well, it's not like we're gonna be sucked in by this tube, so.
No, we're not.
Whoa!
Or maybe we are.
No, I walked into the fence here, so I got grabbed by the last one.
Yeah. Because the last one is a booster.
Yeah.
But because this thing turns so far, I can't put the last fence here. Unless I...
Nah. No, but no, we don't need it. We don't need it.
So I'll just put a warning thing there. There we go.
Cool.
Okay. So currently there is about an hour on the clock. Give or take a little bit. Do you have something that you want to look at? Do you have something you want to work on?
Well, I mean, the next plan is the turbo motor. That's going to be a little large.
Well, do you remember what the next part you wanted to work on was?
Well, like I said, it's a turbo motor.
No, I mean, we had started building the turbo motor, and you had started putting some components together.
Yeah, I'm actually going to have to go take a look at what's currently set up.
Okay. Second question while you're in flight. Are you planning on coming back to the generator plant this session?
This session? No.
Okay. So I'm going to set up my test. And set up my test there. And just to prove that this sends me straight up. Yeah, okay.
Actually, you know what? Let's build this.
Okay, let's see how far I get on the power lines, because I didn't exactly align them all that great.
I could do that. This would give me an even height for everything.
Yep, you are not bound by foundation restrictions on my world. You can build them at whatever height you want, and if they're unsupported, oh well.
You'll come around and support them.
At some point, you know, I'm good for that. I'm good support character.
Yeah.
Okay, this line of power towers, the only thing keeping this line of power towers connected is a single connection to the, what is this, copper? Yeah, a single connection to the copper node I have here. That's probably pretty poor planning. Let's see. Where could I extend this to?
All right. The nitrogen is there. That is there. I've got iron over here, I believe.
Can I put a foundation up here?
And copper. Now, is copper finished?
I mean, that works, but let's do the 1 meter foundation instead.
Alright, so copper and iron are done. Or turned into ingot. Rock quartz is done.
Like it. I like it.
So, what is left is the bauxite turned into aluminum casing and sheets. So, 264 bauxite.
Tie you to that grid. what nonsense do we have going on over here?
Got an herd of alphas.
Yeah, there's a herd of alphas there, and I mean, if you could somehow attract them, if you go into the poison on the opposite side, there's like 3 alpha kitties. So
Yeah.
if you turn left from where you're peering into
Hey,
the poison,
kitty!
yeah, there should be 2 or 3 alpha kitties in there.
This guy's a poisonous one.
Yep. Should be a couple of them in there. I remember because I've had many fun days running away from all of them. And especially because there's nothing really there that's worthwhile having. I don't know why they decided to make that one a very heavy zone. Plus, you have the spicy boy that roams the sandy area beneath you. So, yeah. The sort of path down to the ocean is where the spicy boy roams. I think there's a spicy boy that
so
roams
that's
into
going to be the water for the aluminum.
Yeah, that's what I used last time.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this area kind of lends itself to that.
Okay, so... Okay, so that runs off to the power for steel production that way.
60.
And that runs off to Oil Shore. And that one...
Another 60.
Oh, runs up that way. So that will run up there.
Yeah, we're going to need to run power, we're going to need to step up, and we're going to need to get rid of the spicy boy because having him there is going to be problematic.
Yeah, I'll deal with the spicy boy. I mean, you have power a number of places.
Oh, I know, because there's nothing set up, nothing of that's coming in.
No.
All right, so that's 240, and there's this guy up there. Yeah, let's...
I will be up there in a moment to work on taking.
All right, so that's 240. That's 480, and I said I need how much? I need 264. So okay, so I've got enough.
Okay, so if I do you, and that way be one that way. And you could be a couple this way. Yeah, that'll be fine.
Oh, there's a lake here. There's a river here.
Okay, so you tie to there. And you tie to there. And you tie to there. Okay, so that's not pretty, but that will theoretically prevent cutting of a single power pole to interrupt our main power lines. We just have to remember not to cut or move any power towers. Otherwise, we're probably going to have a problem.
All right.
Okay, so before I go, I know I said I'm coming to help you clean up Spicy Boy. Let's see. No, don't need any of those. You can go in here. Those can go in there. All the rest of that stuff is trash. Well, not trash. Recycled. I want my cart. I want to put my cart down. Come on, game. What you doing? There's the cart. Okay. Let's get some summer sloops out. Okay, that should be good for now. And you know what? Stick the cart in there too, because why not? Okay, offload inventory. And then so you're over at the aluminum area?
Yeah, kind of figuring things out. So that's the direction we want to go.
Was the Spicy Boy up?
Spicy Boy was over to the to the west of where I am, near the the impure bauxite on the other side of this giant tree.
Ah, right. Where is Spicy Boy? There's Spicy Boy. And where are you?
I'm on the east side of that.
Okay. So Spicy Boy is coming back to the aluminum thing. Can you see him, and are you a safe distance from him?
I cannot currently see him, no. Okay, I see him right now. He's a little glitchy to me, but yeah, he's next to the miner.
Okay, so what I've hit him with is a nuke Nobelisk.
Okay. Whee!
And that's what a nuke Nobelisk looks like.
Nice. And how far does the radiation...
It's still well, his body is there.
Yeah.
So I
I
mean,
mean-
it's decreasing.
Okay, yeah, it decreases pretty quickly.
Yeah.
This, I think,
I
is
mean,
his
his body
body.
is what's well, his body's causing the radiation. The radiation effect from the nuke Nobelisk has decreased.
Oh, okay.
Once his body goes away.
I
should-
thought it lasted longer than that. Like,
It could be that they cut it back.
yeah.
So, nuke Nobelisk one-shot Spicy Boy.
Cool.
Yeah, and the body's gone, and there's no radiation in the area. Okay. So do you want me to build this miner up on a platform and send it towards the water, or...
Well, that's sort of what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, I will do nothing with it then. I will pick up wood.
Because, you know, they're a little far, they're a little far apart. So,
Well, I believe I moved when I did this in your world. I just moved everything to a central location for
well,
processing.
yeah, that's what that's what I'm going to do. I simply have to work out said location. Oh, that's why it was running. I was going, somebody got into the catnip. But
Oh,
no.
somebody had a clip and a half unloaded into him.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make me run too.
I am sorry to report that a clip and a half of anything unloaded into you would not mean you were running anywhere.
Fine, I wouldn't be running then.
Even in this game, I think we have fewer health than a clip and a half would take. No, I'm not going to try it out to see.
I wasn't going to offer.
And I wanted to clarify just in case you thought I was either going to offer or just open up on you. There's more wood over here. Can I get that with a chainsaw? There it is. Didn't need a chainsaw.
Kind of think. Do you remember how large of the factory the processing the aluminum is?
How much are you processing?
Uh, 480, I think. Yep, 480.
Let's see. So to process 480, you'll need 4 refineries. So a refinery is production refinery. So a refinery is 3 long and just over 1 wide.
Yeah.
So to make them all fit, you'd need, call it 4 by 5, because you need space for the pipes in and out. So 4 wide or 4 long, 5 wide for the refinery. And then the alumina solution that comes out goes into another refinery. But it does 240, so you need 2 of those.
So sloppy alumina.
I was just using the regular one. Sloppy alumina
Oh, okay, okay, regular one. Okay, right.
Well, it depends on how you want to do it. Sloppy alumina, the alumina solution has an output of silica that you may not necessarily want.
Yeah,
Sloppy alumina uses
that goes to
more.
the sink without.
Okay, so but using the alumina solution, you take 120 bauxite and 180 water in, and you get 120 alumina solution out. If you use sloppy alumina, you're taking 200 alumina in, or 200 bauxite in, 200 water in, and getting 240 alumina out. So it's if you want to maximize the amount of alumina solution you're getting out, the sloppy alumina is better. I think. Yeah, because you're getting 240 out every 3 seconds. It would mean that you would only need 3 machines and one of them would be underclocked to process the bauxite.
Yeah. Needs a bit more water, but actually maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Uh,
No, because it's 200 and 200. This is the alumina solution is 120 to 180. So this is 1 to 1. The other one's 1 to 1 point something. So
1 to 1.3.
So and there's no excess. Like this looks like a better
Okay, so 3 machines, 2 of them running full, one of them running at
with 80.
80 bauxite, which would 40%.
Well, I mean, since
33.
Yeah.
Which means you need 480 water, and the other 4 machines would need a lot more. A lot more water. You'll still need 2 machines out to process all the alumina solution. Actually, no. Because you're running 3 machines, you're getting 240. Unless you don't want to run the aluminum at 100%. If you only want 2 machines, if you have 2 machines, you're using 400 bauxite a minute, 400 water, and you get 480 alumina solution out. And then you use 480 alumina solution in 2 machines and 240 coal to get 660 aluminum scrap per minute. And the only other way would be to use petroleum coal, which means you'd use less, but you need more machines to process. So I guess it depends on how you want to do this. So maybe we need to work backwards and figure out how much of each of the aluminum materials you need.
Interesting. Interesting. Da, 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 2 times 2 plus 96. So 576 alumina solution is what we'll be dealing with. So you said that So 240. So I'm going to need 3 machines again.
Yes. If you're using the full output of the miners, then yes, you're going to need 3 machines to handle the output.
Yeah, because it's 1-to-1 the way this is.
Correct. But because there's no extra output, I mean, you could essentially run one machine into another machine, and not even worry about load balancing them, unless you want to worry about load balancing them.
I may not. I may not bother.
I mean, if you load balance them, that means your third machine here could run it, well, could be set to run at full capacity. But
The thing is, if I were to load balance them, none of them would run at full capacity.
correct.
So might as well just, since they're literally 1-to-1, I might as well just feed them the way they are.
Okay, and you're going to use the standard aluminum scrap recipe.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So that means we'll have 120, 240, 280 water to deal with, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so that's 48. And that's running at full power, so that's 120, 240.
So 120, 240, and
288.
48. So 240.
288.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Then what we want to be sure to do here is to elevate the pipe.
Yep. So where is your water coming in from?
The geyser is
Over that way, I think.
south of us.
Okay, so where were you thinking of running the pipe? In that side? Like where's the pipe starting? This side or that side?
Okay, let me set the pipe up, because since it's going to be elevated, I'm going to put the splitter here. And here. Which means that the pipe is going to be, this is water. So 480, that's going to be tier 2.
Yeah.
Not that it matters for this, because that's basically to set up the... we don't have power here at the moment, do we?
I mean, we can. There you go.
Thank you.
Drag a line over here. Temporary lines everywhere. There, that should be able to power you from wherever you are. Okay.
So geyser is south of us. Where though? Okay, right here. So there's not really a more convenient process to bring the water in. Um, Thinking I'll do it. I do it on this side. Ah, come on, why do you keep going crooked?
Okay. So you're bringing it in on this side. It looks like you went down a level.
Come on.
Okay.
Now it needs to connect under.
On the bottom. Yeah. Needs to connect on the low one. Yeah. I'll relocate the power pole.
Big of a deal. Okay.
Power is kind of that way. No, it's really not. Good job. Extractor, I definitely want. Oh, I have to activate it. Right. Right. I have to activate.
I really wish that we had That'll do.
Okay, so this is making 720 a minute. Water. So let's see, let's have pipeline support there.
Come on.
So what are you doing? You're doing 120. And you're doing 120. So that's 240 to here. How much do you do? 120. So that's 360. So that's more than that. So coming out of that.
So I've got the water input for the.
How much water did you say you needed your way? 500 and something?
This says. Well, I mean, if we're just looking at the machines,
Well, the water you need.
400, 480.
Okay.
That does not subtract the input, the excess that's coming back into the system.
Well, theoretically, all the excess should be used first.
Okay.
But it has to be seeded initially, so we'll assume that you need 480 because
Yep.
you said that's what you needed.
Yep.
Okay, and what are you doing? You're 120. Okay. So actually, I want you shifted to face this way. So I'm going to do a Mark 2 to there. I'm going to join this Mark 1 to there. And I'm going to join this Mark 1 to there. Don't connect anything yet. I have
Nope.
to redo the pipe.
I'm not connecting. This is just. Yeah, I mean, you can even change that if you want to, but this is basically the input.
Okay, well, if that's your input, then I'll just remove that. So that could go up there once I'm ready. So your Mark II, you have to go there. You can be a Mark 1 from there. You're your junction. I need to redo your junction. You can be a Mark 1 to there. You can be a Mark 1 to there. Because you're 120, you're 120, forming to 240. Which comes over here and joins 120. So that's 360 at this point. So it needs to be a Mark 2 pipe there. And then this needs to be a Mark 2 pipe to there. So you should have 480 water on the pipe. And then we have 2 nodes where we can grab an additional 120 and 120. So we've got 240 additional water that is not being used in this. And why are these pipes filling up with water?
Because you've connected them.
Okay, I'm gonna break that connection right now. So I broke the connection, the backfill connection.
Sure.
Because there was nothing flowing from it. It was essentially filling.
Oh, right.
And we don't want that full to start. Yeah, this pipe is
then
completely
flush those pipes.
Yeah. Okay, so this has no other connection. The full pipe network is just that. Okay, so. Okay, there's nothing in the machines. There's nothing in the pipes there. Yeah, that pipeline is empty.
Yeah. That's going to be annoying, but I'm not going to care that much.
Now, where do we want power coming in? I mean, setup of these poles is messy.
Well, they are temporary.
Well, as I like to say, there is nothing more temporary than or nothing more permanent than a temporary solution. So, I mean, maybe we could put a pole there. And if we put one on that side, that can feed the miner. And then this one can feed, let's see, so the connectors for this, so we're going to need power up there. So if I put a pole here, and then I can put a pole up. That's in the rock, so we'll put it there. And you connect this. You go this way. There. And you can power that. Okay. So that will power that miner. this one can connect to that pole, which should not be powered. That pole's not powered, and this pole's not powered, which is what I want.
All right. Okay, so there's...
So, did you have designs on this open space here that you were going to do something with?
I no, but I suspect that putting the smelters to deal with the aluminum scrap will probably be a good idea.
Okay, so that means I want to run the power line as close to the pipe as possible. So maybe this power pole should not be here. Maybe I move it back a bit and put it here. Then connect you to that one. And connect you how about to there? And then you can go to that. And I'm going to want another power pole. Which is my line? This one.
All right, I am going to need 15 smelters.
Playing for 6 hours.
Actually, yeah, it's almost 9.
It is.
So I guess I'm gonna head back to base.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a launch point here, so it'll take a little bit.
Yeah.
Should be able to ride the power poles at least some of the way.
Yep.
And then we get kicked off here. Yep. Yeah, grab that one. But, you know, that hour that we spent doing that was not wasted time. We made progress.
Yep, we did. Thank you for dropping by, Akla. Have a good rest of your evening.
And the tower you're hitting now is the tower where it used to end. So I added the 2 towers over top of the main base.
Yep.
And the other tower I tied into the line going out to Oil Shore and the line that goes down to the coal area. Or not coal area, steel area.
Very cool.
because before, like I said, the line that was coming from the copper mine was the line that was holding our whole network together at this point.
Ah.
And I figured that would be bad.
Yes, yes, it would. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for dropping by and keeping us company. Thank you, Akla. Thank you, Gen X. Thank you, Kolo. And thank you anyone else I may have missed, since the drop erased my my chat history. I will be back tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be playing Valheim. I am giving Vintage Story a break. So I hope to see you then. If I do not, I hope you have a good week, a good weekend when it arrives, and I'll see you when I see you.
Bye.